Hey friends, and welcome to Inside and Out Yoga and Meditation, where every day we help you reach your highest potential inside and out. My name's Colin, and I'm going to be your meditation guide. So, since today is our first day, I thought it would be important for us to talk about what meditation is, what meditation isn't, and maybe do some myth busting along the way. So, the first thing I want to talk about is that meditation isn't perfect stillness. And that means physically, if you have an itch, you can scratch it. If your back aches, you can move. But more importantly, it's not about perfect stillness of the mind. I think people have this common misconception that when you meditate, you are trying to quiet the mind or get the thoughts to go away or reach some perfect calm state. And that's just not true. Oftentimes when I tell people that I think they should take up a meditation practice, they come back and they say, I can't do it, my brain just wouldn't stop going. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point. That is what makes you alive. It's what makes you human. If you stopped thinking, it would mean that you're dead. So we should celebrate our thoughts. And instead of trying to get rid of them, we should learn to be with them. To be with them, to accept them. Because at its core, that's what meditation is. We are accepting what is. And that applies past just our thoughts. Yes, we're sitting and in this moment we're learning to accept our thoughts, but we're also learning to accept the moment, the universe, the events that happen to us. We're learning to be with and accept what is, and that is incredibly powerful. That is an incredibly powerful skill that you can take forward with you in your life. Now, another thing that meditation is not, is it's not hard. Obviously, it's difficult in that it's a large undertaking. It's something that you're going to practice forever and you're never going to get perfect. But when I say that it's not hard, what I mean by that is that it's not effortful. You shouldn't feel more exhausted after a meditation session than you did going in. Thich Nhat Hanh, who is a Buddhist master from Vietnam, in his book, How to Relax, describes meditation saying that we should exert the same amount of effort meditating as we do watching TV. And I think that's a really good metaphor for Western audiences because we know exactly what that feels like. When you watch TV, you sit. You sit and you let the TV come to you. You don't have to actively watch TV. You don't have to really contract your mind around it. You just let the TV come to you. And that's the same kind of effort we should be undertaking when we're meditating. We should just be sitting, letting the meditation happen. And it should be relaxing. We should feel better after than we did going in. Something else that meditation is not, is it's not inherently spiritual. It's not inherently linked to any religion. A lot of the meditation practices that we know did come from Buddhism or Taoism or some of the other Eastern religions, but they're able to be separated from that. And there are things to learn from them that even if you're not a Buddhist, you can still learn things from these practices and they're still vitally important. At the bare minimum, it's important that we as human beings sit down and spend some time with ourselves and with our thoughts. People have known that this is important for thousands of years. Journaling is a kind of meditation, and we know that people have been journaling as long as there's been written language. We know deep down that it is so important for us to get some time to get to know ourselves. And that's what meditation is. Another thing that meditation isn't is it's not about reaching enlightenment, or if you're not comfortable using the word enlightenment, it's not about reaching some heightened state of being. And the reason that it's not about this is because this sets us up for failure right off the bat. Because that sets us up with a future-dependent mindset. It sets us up with, I'm going to meditate to achieve this. Or even if we take some heightened state of being out of it and we just say, I'm going to meditate and then I'm going to feel calm. I'm going to meditate and then I'm going to let this go. Anytime we have this mindset, we're already looking towards the future, we're already striving, and we've already set ourselves up for failure because we're already not being with what is. We're not trying to force ourselves to be calm. We're not trying to force ourselves to be peaceful. We're not trying to force ourselves to be happy. We're just being with what is and allowing them to come. So if meditation is not all these things, then what is it? And obviously, I can only tell you my experience and what I've pieced together from teachers of mine over the years. But what I think meditation is I think it's life training. I think it is 20, 30 minutes, or 10, 5 or 10, however many minutes you want to spend, where you sit and you train something and you bring it forward into your life. Meditation is not about the moments while you are meditating. It is about how you carry it through the rest of your life. And the way that this works is through a process that we've recently discovered in neuroscience called neuroplasticity, which basically means that our brains have a lot of work to do and they're going to try to conserve as much energy as possible. And the way they're going to do this is by creating patterns and following patterns. So we get trapped in these patterns without even realizing them. So if you are a person who gets angry often, your brain will be angry more often because it's used to it. It's easier. It's like there's a hill and it's raining, and the first time that it rains, the water just goes down the hill, but it starts to dig out little pathways. And then the next time it rains, the water will naturally flock to those pathways because it's easier. And the pathways will get deeper and deeper until eventually you have a full-fledged river on the side of this mountain. And that's what's going on in our brains. So, meditation is important for this because of two things. One, when we're learning to sit with ourselves and we're learning to be with ourselves, we're learning what those pathways are. We're learning, maybe my brain is prone to jump to anxiety. Maybe my brain is prone to jump to judgment. We see the pathways, and then we can work to change them. And the way that changing them works, I have another metaphor. The brain is like a garden, and in the garden is the seeds for everything that we can feel. There are the seeds for anger, next to the seeds for happiness, the seeds for anxiety, next to the seeds for contentment, and so on. But because there are seeds, we can never rip anything out. So if we sit in meditation and we learn that we're prone to anger, we can't rip that anger out because the seeds are going to be there and they're going to come back stronger. So what do? We sit in meditation and we learn that we're a person who's prone to anger, so what do we do about it? Well, instead of trying to rip the anger out, we can feed something else. We see the anger, but we don't feed it. We walk past it and we water happiness or we water forgiveness. And those will grow, and anger will fade away on its own because it's not being fed. It won't die, it'll always be there, but it'll fade. And we can use this to train anything we want. If we feel that we are lacking in confidence, we can train that in meditation. If we feel that we are lacking in a sense of enoughness, we can train that in meditation. If we're lacking in empathy or joy or peace or stability, anything that you want to develop in your mind, you can develop in your meditation practice. And there are so many practices already made that can help us to do this. And this is why meditation is so powerful. But it's also not something that we can do and be done with. You know, when you go to the gym, you don't work out for a month and then stop working out because you know that you're going to lose all the progress you've made. And meditation is the same way. In the same way that we're reinforcing those good pathways, if we don't pay attention, we can start to reinforce the bad pathways again. So it's a journey. It's a journey. It starts here, hopefully, and hopefully this is the moment where you start and it sticks with you forever. But it starts and you have to keep going with it. So, one last thing that meditation is, it's different for everyone. Like I said, I can only tell you about my own experience and the experiences that I've read or heard about, but I'm more interested in your experience. So, we're going to meditate and then I want to chat about it. So, let's get it. All right, so if you haven't already, we're going to get into a comfortable position. And I didn't say seat because you can be standing or laying down. Doesn't matter. You can be however you want to be, as long as you're not going to fall asleep and your spine is relatively straight. And that's just important so that when we breathe, we can get a full breath. So, let's go. Bring yourself to a comfortable position. Start to arrive in this moment, this body, this breath. Notice where you feel your breath the strongest. Maybe it's the air passing into your nostrils. Maybe it's the rising and falling of your belly. Maybe it's somewhere else. Wherever you notice it, bring your attention there. That's where you're going to focus today. And if you haven't already, allowing the eyes to come to a close. Just seeing what that feels like. Sitting here with the eyes closed. Nothing to do. Nowhere to go. Nowhere to be. No one to be. Just here, in this moment, and this breath. Maybe it feels good to relax in this moment, knowing that everything is relatively all right. We're safe. We're here. Just to help maintain our focus, we're going to start to count our inhales and our exhales. In 1, out 2, in 3, out 4, all the way up to 10, and then starting over again at 1. Your mind may wander, and that's okay. No need to punish yourself or punish the thought. Just bring the attention gently back to 1. You may lose count. That's perfectly okay. This exercise is not easy. People work on this for years and sometimes still don't get to 10. No need to punish. Just bring your attention back to this breath. 1. Nothing to do, nowhere to go, no one to be. Just this moment, this breath. Maybe allowing a slight smile to cross your lips. Feeling a sense of joy permeate through your body. Every breath brings joy and life with it. In and out. Now, just letting the focus on the breath fade and just being. Noticing what happens. Do the thoughts come flooding in? Does your mind stay relatively empty? What are you feeling in your body? Just being, noticing, not doing. Maybe slowly bringing the eyes open again. Seeing if we can maintain this sense of just being. This feeling that there's nothing to do, nowhere to go, and no one to be. Allow that to sink in. Take a moment to celebrate yourself for taking this time to take care of yourself. You did it. Even if you don't feel like it was super successful, you did it. You're reaping benefits from it, I promise. I'm so glad that we did this together. And I want to chat. I want to know how that was for you. We really want this to be a community. So comment on this video, comment on our Facebook, on our Instagram, and let us know. How was it? Did anything really work for you? Are you struggling with anything? Is there anything you want to see? Just want to say hi? Don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.